Hey there. There's something I think many people carry quietly because they're afraid of what it might say about them. The feeling of looking around at the life you've built and wondering why it doesn't feel the way you thought it would. And perhaps even harder than that, the realization that many of the things surrounding you are things you chose. The career, the relationship, the responsibilities, the commitments, the dreams you once worked so hard to reach. And because they were your choices, you tell yourself you have no right to struggle with them, no right to feel tired, no right to question anything, no right to grieve. Because after all, this is what you wanted, or at least this is what you thought you wanted. And I think that's where so many people become lonely, not because life is hard, but because they feel ashamed that it's hard, ashamed that the thing they prayed for, worked for, or fought for somehow became heavy, ashamed that gratitude and disappointment are somehow sitting side by side inside them, ashamed that they miss versions of themselves that existed before all these responsibilities arrived. And perhaps you've been carrying that shame too, quietly asking yourself, why do I feel this way? I chose this. I have no reason to complain. I should be happier than this. But life isn't always that simple because people change, seasons change, needs change. And the version of you who made certain decisions may have been doing the best they could with the understanding they had at the time. They weren't foolish. They weren't careless. They were simply human, and human beings make decisions hoping they will bring meaning, stability, joy, or love. Sometimes they do. And sometimes they bring things we never expected. Because nobody makes choices with complete knowledge. Nobody sees 10 years into the future. Nobody receives guarantees. We choose with hope, that's all. And hope is not something to be ashamed of. I think one of the most painful experiences in adulthood is realizing that you can deeply appreciate parts of your life and still feel confined by them. You can love people and still feel exhausted. You can be grateful and still grieve. You can recognize blessings and still acknowledge burdens. Those things are not contradictions.
They are part of being alive. And maybe the hardest part isn't even the feeling itself. Maybe it's the fear. The fear that admitting the truth means you've failed. The fear that questioning something means you've ruined everything. The fear that because you chose this life, you must remain silently unhappy inside it forever. But I don't believe honesty is betrayal. And I don't believe acknowledging your pain makes you ungrateful. Because pretending isn't peace. And ignoring yourself has never been the same thing as being faithful. Sometimes, the most loving thing a person can do is tell the truth about where they are. Not dramatically, not recklessly, just honestly. Because the truth is, you are allowed to outgrow old expectations. You are allowed to admit that some dreams feel different now. You are allowed to acknowledge that certain responsibilities are heavier than you imagined. And none of that erases the love, effort, or sincerity that brought you here. Please don't punish yourself for being a person who changed. Please don't turn your younger hopes into evidence against yourself. That version of you was trying. That version of you deserved compassion. And so does the version of you sitting here now. The one who feels tired, the one who feels conflicted, the one who quietly wonders if anyone else understands this strange ache. I think more people understand than you realize, because life isn't just about making choices. It's about continuing to become, continuing to learn, continuing to discover who you are within the life you're living. And that process is rarely neat. It is rarely final, and it is certainly not something you have to rush. So if you've been feeling trapped by the life you chose, I hope you won't immediately turn that feeling into another burden to carry. You don't have to shame yourself for having complicated emotions. You don't have to force gratitude to silence grief. And you don't have to figure everything out tonight. For now, you can simply tell the truth. You can admit that some things are heavier than you expected. You can acknowledge that you've been carrying more than people know. And you can trust that this moment, however confusing it feels, does not have the authority to define the rest of your story.